Just how much has AI changed how homeowners and commercial property managers find landscape companies? In today's episode of the Landscaper's Guide, I'm going to answer that question based on what I'm seeing right now in February of 2026, even though it feels like a constantly moving target. Today, I'm going to share a clip from my recent keynote at the Rainbird Select Contractor Conference in Mexico. In this clip, I tell the story of how I used AI during a major home renovation project, including how I found a remodeling company, how I compared proposals with AI, how I evaluated options, and what that experience revealed about how your customers are searching today. Watch till the end to see where I share how landscape companies should focus their marketing in 2026 if you want to continue getting found by high-value customers. Let's dive in. Last Christmas, a couple days before Christmas, this is what Christmas looked like at our house. We had water leaking in our house. And at first I went to my son and I'm like, what did you do? Why is there so much water in the floor? He's like, Dad, I didn't do anything. So we went down in the crawl space and there was water leaking down from the ceiling. And I crawled under and I started knocking on the floor. My wife's up and she's like, yeah, that's the dishwasher. I'm like, oh no. So I turned the water off. And unfortunately, I got to hire one of my other clients, which is a home restoration company. And I've done SEO about water restoration, water damage repair, all the things were happening to my home. And then we found asbestos. They found asbestos and they're like, well, you got to work with an asbestos testing company and then an asbestos abatement company. And the insurance are like, you got to get at least 2 quotes. And I'm like, I don't really need 2 quotes. They're like, no, you do. So I got 2 quotes and they were 100% apart in price. And I've never hired anybody for this. I hope I never do it again. It's really not a sexy thing to have done at your home. So I put the proposals in ChatGPT. I said, ChatGPT, I got these 2 proposals. One of them is double the other one. And it's like, list of questions. So I emailed some of the questions to they were both referrals. I emailed the questions. I understood the questions. It wasn't some enormous AI thing. I'm like, these are good questions. They never replied. They just never replied to the questions. So I went with the company that costs less. And I'm sharing this story because homeowners are using AI to compare proposals, research plans, and price out projects. They're getting information from it. So yes, relationships still matter. But in this situation, I kind of had equal relationships. They were both referrals. They had pretty good Google reviews. And they just never replied to those questions. And this is changing the way people buy. It's changing how they communicate. And when we're in this market where the dollar is worth 25% less than it was 5 years ago, people are more cautious about how they spend their money. And they're going to spend more time researching online. So your digital presence becomes more important than ever to making the sale, to getting the lead, to closing even a word of mouth referral is different than it was even a few years ago. So did ChatGPT eat Google's lunch? I used Gemini to create this, Google's tool. I'm like, create a graphic of Gemini eating, or ChatGPT eating Google's lunch. And it did. It was pretty amazing. So there's a lot of fear marketing on LinkedIn. If you go on LinkedIn, it's like AI has taken over the world and it's going to replace you and you're going to be dead if you don't become a robot tomorrow. We're like, oh no, it's going to kill me. So that's the fear. And I think it's largely fear because the reality is the people who post that kind of stuff never share any data. And the data shows that Google search is actually growing. Here is some information showing AI tool adoption. Now in the purple are all the different AI tools combined. ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, Perplexity, all those tools, DeepSeek, pulled in together. And the blue is visits to Google, Bing, Yahoo, and DuckDuckGo. And you can see it's kind of been unfazed. Google search actually grew during this period that AI tool adoption has increased. So they're both happening. And of all the searches between all of them, I mean, look at this. I mean, 94% of all the searches on the web are from Google. And it's still the dominant one. Even when you include things like Bing, most people use Bing accidentally. They get it, the most Googled or the most Binged thing is Google. People are like, how do I get out of here? So that's still true. It's still true today. And ChatGPT is used just a sliver of that. Is it relevant, or am I going to help you show up how to get there? Could this change a year from now? Absolutely. But do we need to freak out and ditch our marketing strategy? No, we don't. But what has changed that's relevant to landscape companies? One of the big ones is AI overviews in Google. Here's a search results page for landscape design, Broadmoor, Colorado. We're going to geek out on this later, but check it out. This AI overview, that's new. That wasn't here a couple of years ago. And the AI mode up at the top, that's new. People are clicking on that. They're using it. What you need to know is that these AI overviews mean fewer clicks to your website. So although Google is still king, how it works is very different. So if you've been doing SEO and pay-per-click for years, it's different. Search engine land shows that Google organic and paid click-through rate. So of the people searching, fewer of them are clicking than ever, because a lot of those queries, they just answer the question right in the AI overview. And online estimates. This is very relevant to landscape companies and irrigation companies. This new online estimates. How many of you have filled this out personally? I'm just curious. No one's done it. It's new, but I'm gonna demonstrate this later. I just recorded a bunch of stuff literally this week because so much is changing. So with all this change, where do we start? Hey, it's Jack Jostes, CEO of Ramblin' Jackson, the snow and landscape marketing agency. We've worked with over 300 snow and landscape companies throughout the United States, and we are constantly testing, measuring, and refining what actually works to help contractors get found by great customers, build trust faster, and nurture prospects into high-value jobs. If you're wondering where you should be focusing your marketing in 2026, especially with AI changing how people search, I'd love to help. Book a free 15-minute marketing brainstorm call at landscapersguide.com/brainstorm. On that call, you'll get personalized feedback on your sales goals, your current marketing strategy, and whether your time, money, and effort are aligned with how customers are actually searching and finding companies like yours today. You've been listening to the Landscaper's Guide podcast. If this episode was helpful, subscribe on YouTube and visit landscapersguide.com/podcast for weekly sales, marketing, and leadership inspiration to grow your snow and landscape company. I look forward to talking with you in the next episode. Like today's video and subscribe to our YouTube channel to get upcoming videos to help you grow your snow and landscape company. My name's Jack Jostes, and check out my free resources in the show notes and click the next video to grow your business.